Hey coding owls, welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be the last in the series where we started with asynchronous JavaScript. This video we will dedicatedly focus upon the concept called as async await. So as you see from our previous series, we have created two functions. First to fetch the data from MySQL, and then once we get the data from MySQL, we were passing that username to GitHub and GitHub was returning that value back to us. And what we were discussing, so promises is something we have covered in depth. You can check out the video, link is in the description, or you will be able to see on the top of the screen right now. Plus, so this was how it was. We were making the promises, but how we were calling those promises is where the things started to get much more messier. That we create a promise, then we have to create a chaining. First is what? Then we get the get user, we use that get user, pass it on to another function which is returning a promise, and then we get back those repos promise, and then that repos promise is nothing but another promise. So we have to chain it. Rather than going in this way, if I tell you that there is another way I can actually create a solution based upon this, what if I tell you there is another way we can do this? Is simply we can say, okay, let me just quickly update this and let's pick this up. So consider I do something like this const, and I want to get user, right? First, so if I say get user is equal to get user function and I pass 1001. Okay, then I say const repos is equal to get repos, and then I pass my git user, and that's it. If I say that you will be actually able to achieve this. Only thing is it has to be, there are two things we need to take it. First, we'll have to put this inside a function, and second is use two keywords called as async and await. Okay. Okay, so let's copy paste our solution. So I say async. So this time it is await solution. And this is the fourth video in the series. So as I told you, this part would remain same because we are returning the promise. This is well done. But what we need to do, only thing is I will put back the resolve here. We have been making some changes for reject in the previous videos. And as I said, let's put it in a different way here. What we are going to do, I have said const get user. Yeah, const get user is equal to get user, and I pass 1001. Then what I want next is const repos is equal to get repos for get user, and the get user I received is something I will make the call. So let's just put this inside a context, and I say function display repos. Okay. So as I said, this requires to be inside a function, and the next thing is because this get user is returning a promise, I will have to mark this as C. Obviously, this is a asynchronous task. I cannot just wait and let them finish to get our data back, and it's not going to happen. If I run this straight away, let's see what happens. If I try to do display repos here, okay, let's see the consequence first. Let's try this out. So it is going to be node space async for, and okay, it's loading the data from database, and neither did I get the database value, neither did I get the repos. So this solution obviously right now is not working. There has to be some changes into this because we have to wait till the point I get my user back. I will have to mark this function with await. Okay, we'll have to mark this function with await. And the rule is, thumb rule is, if you mark any statement with await, that function has to be under async block. Yeah, that function has to be under an async block. Okay, there has to be an issue here. What is that? So this function we mark as async. Okay. So here, what we are doing, once we mark it as async, it will now enable my repos, and let's see what happens in the other situation. Now, if I say console log git user, do I get really get a git user here? See, it is able to fetch the data from database now after 3 seconds, but nothing is happening. Yeah, the repositories, I am not getting those repositories. See, it is telling me it is getting those repositories, but I am not able to fetch it at this point in time. The reason being, the other call get repos for git user is also a so another call for git user, which is also a asynchronous call. I will also have to mark here as what await. And if I do console log repos here, let's see what happens. So first I should get my data. I got it. And then in the second situation, I should be getting my repositories, which I got. So this is a perfect way. And if you compare this with this one, and obviously with this one, this one was a big callback hell, but this await solution is much more easier to call. And one thing which we need to cover here more is what will happen in case a rejection happen. Let's say this is not resolved and this is rejected. So let's say how will our program behave in this particular point. So when the first one happened, see, it broke down and there was no way of handling this at all here right now. So in previous situation, you remember we had the catch block where we were taking care of it. So a simple way to take care of this particular situation is to put everything inside a try catch block. Okay. We put a try catch statement and we put all our asynchronous call inside the try block. And in the error, obviously we'll just say console log of error. Let's do that in that way. So this way, what happens now? Let's see. And let's try to see in a different way now. Make the change, make the call. And this time, see, it was reading the ID from database and I got the error. Yeah, the error exactly which was happening, I got that error, and here I can actually do something after that error. See, the difference is in the previous one I was also getting that it was getting rejected, the reject was called, but if you see this time, it is not, it is telling me that reject is obviously called, but it is coming inside my error log area, and here I can do whatever I want now. So this is how basically you shift. You see the problem, what the things you did in your callback, from there we moved on to promise, and in promise we obviously we got the good way of making the calls, but accessing it was this was then was again getting into a chaining which I was not comfortable with, so we shifted to async await. Here you see that I just, the rule is you mark the function async, and wherever you are making an asynchronous call, just mark it with await, so that way it will work in a single order, but it will wait for the things to happen and it will seem to you like a normal code. So obviously JavaScript keeps on giving you things which makes your life much more easier. So thank you for watching this video. This was, I hope you liked this series of asynchronous way where we started with how it start with callback and it ends with async await. Subscribe to my channel and go and share it with your friends as well, those who are new to JavaScript. Thank you.